Um, all verse rising, my soul family. So let me tell you all something. When it comes to these soulful vibrational children, especially these humanoid extraterrestrial children on planet Earth that have soulful vibrations and they don't fit in the slave owner Freemasonry matrix, the soulful vibrational childs, any one of them, that's especially when they're like 5 years old, 6, 7, 8, 10, 9, 10, 4 years old, just any soulful vibrational children age, their intuition is always on point, man. Like, let's say for example, if a soulful vibrational child that's been living in New Orleans, Louisiana for like what, 20 years, and they decide to just go ahead and leave New Orleans, Louisiana, and Louisiana as a whole, and they tell their father and their mother about that, right? You know, the father and mother, if they have a common sense brain, they would trust their children's intuition and leave the whole place as well. Because, you know, a children's intuition is never wrong, especially when it comes to animal children too. Because, you know, animal children are highly, highly intelligent and very otherworldly, especially when you think about those water animals, especially like when you think about a young octopus that's a child. And you know, octopus are one of the most highly intelligent species in the multiverse. So that's my thing on that. And because let me tell you something, man. Because if a child told me to go leave this particular location, I'm gonna do it because a child's intuition is always correct. You gotta comprehend, a child's intuition is not indoctrinated by no slave owner indoctrination teaching. Because a child's intuition is connected to a celestial, extraterrestrial, godly, soulful, vibrational source from within. And now let me tell you about this too. When it comes to these slave owner, Freemasonry, narcissistic religions, their indoctrination, here's why. Just because a humanoid is following a slave owner religion doesn't make them a complex person. Here's why. Because look, you can have like a humanoid that follows a slave owner Freemasonry religion. They don't even realize that the religion they're following is a Freemasonry slave owner religion, and they could just be reciting things from a slave owner book, and they will sound so simple, and they don't sound complex at all, because it's a lot of individuals who is very complex in the way that they think, because it's coming from intuition from within, the mind, heart, and soul eye, right? And let me tell you something. Let's say I told you something that's coming from my intuitional mind, heart, and soul eye, and you can't even look it up in a religion book and look it up on Google. If it's not on Google in a religion book, it's super complex because it's coming from within. You see what I'm saying? For me to tell the masses on planet Earth that just because someone worships a religion made by a slave owner Freemason doesn't make them a complex person, that just shows you that I am an intuitionally intelligent person that doesn't follow any slave owner indoctrination. You feel me? Because let me tell you this too. Let's say, for example, a lot of the woke religious folks that just so indoctrinated, and they don't have an extraterrestrial, celestial, godly source, and they follow the slave owner Freemasonry source of spirituality. You see, a lot of those religious folks, they don't have common sense. You see what I'm saying? Like, for example, when I was birthed, I came through my mom and dad's genetics. I came through my mom and dad's genetics. I didn't come from Jehovah's, Jesus, or, you know, Yemoya and all these other different mythology guys. I didn't come from that. I came through my mother and my father, because if that's what a lot of woke religious folks don't want to accept, because, you know, they've been so indoctrinated by Freemason indoctrination that they truly believe that, you know, all these narcissistic underworld, soulless, vibrational, Jezebel spirit demons came through this Jehovah and Jesus character. And you know that's crazy, because, okay, if the so-called soulful vibrational beings is God's children, why would these Jezebel spirit, narcissistic, sociopath, psychopath, slave owner, Mason demons who controls a matrix on planet Earth and having people slave away for money is God's children. That don't make no dang sense. If individuals are slaving away for money, keep in mind, if individuals are slaving away for money at a 9-to-5 corporation or any corporation in the Freemason slave owner society, why would those be God's children? Because the Jesus and Jehovah characters, they wouldn't want their humanoid citizens to be slaving away for money. Because last time I checked, the Jesus character didn't want humanoid citizens to be paying for anything on planet Earth. That was the devil's motive. You see a lot of these woke religious folks, they don't want to talk about that. It's just like this too. Like, okay, it's just like the woke religious folks, they want to talk about, oh, nobody's perfect, but we are amazing God's creation. So basically, if you say nobody's perfect, then you just basically said this mythology God isn't perfect, since this mythology God created every humanoid, every frog, every type of animal, every life form that you could think of, and that God is not a perfect being. You see, this is where you get a lot of these woke religious folks, caught up in that hypocritical way of thinking, man. Following these slave owner ways of thinking, man, it could mess you up. I'm telling you, man. Like, it's not too many humanoid extraterrestrials on planet Earth that's thinking for themselves, that's thinking with the intuitional, all-seeing mind, heart, and soul eye. Because let me tell you something. I don't walk around going around telling people that, oh, they not perfect, they this and they're not that. Like, that's not how I am. I ain't gonna let somebody tell me what I am and what I'm not. If someone told me I'm not special, I'm not perfect in the way that I am, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, fuck them. And they're indoctrinated. Like, seriously. You feel me? That's how I feel. Because, like, soulful vibrational beings who think with the intuitional mind, heart, and soul eye, they realize and comprehend that perfection is evolving. You see, the soulful vibrational beings, they realize and comprehend that perfection is evolving your all-seeing mind, heart, and soul eye. Don't let yourself get detached to these slave owner Freemasonry indoctrination teachings to like take you away from thinking for yourself, to evolve your self-love of like remaining and always evolving your intuitional intelligence of originality. Because the slave owner Freemason devils, they want a lot of humanoid citizens to be thinking like a slave owner, thinking like a Mason, following these fucking religious false realities. Seriously. A lot of the soulful vibrational beings that don't follow any religions are the complex thinking beings, because in a society, when you're not a religious person, you're not seen as woke, you're not seen as complex. But when you're religious and you follow the slave owner teachers, you're seen as woke and complex. But a lot of folks that are not religious, they are very complex, because for what I just told you in this long topic, what I just told you, that just shows that I'm a complex individual. And I'm not an individual who follows this, soulless vibrational zombie Freemasonry slave owner religions that just like dumb down your IQ. Like, seriously, dude. Seriously, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro. Like, seriously, man. And I hope this video actually goes viral to reach a lot